Live from the home of Al Capone, Michael Jordan, and Deep Dish Pizza. Giving it to you straight from the horse's mouth. Unfiltered and restoring hope to the podcast universe. Gary Franchi.
And welcome back to the G-Cast. What's up, girl? How you doing?
Oh, welcome back.
You're looking smoking today.
Thank you.
You are. What's up? So, again, with the intro, we need to add Lori Lightfoot, home of Lori Lightfoot.
I'd kill you. Don't
Lori
you dare.
Lightfoot.
Oh.
Now, she's doing a bang-up job in Chicago, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
So much to say about her.
Nothing like locking down the city and letting people burn and riot.
Hard lockdown.
Yeah. So everything's like burning on fire, and America's just one big dumpster fire right now. That's why I'm wearing what I'm wearing today.
I know. It's cheering me up. I like it.
I have to, I have to put on my full patriotic garb today. We're going to go full steam ahead. Despite the communist revolution that's taking place in this country, we are fighting for what is right in America.
I love it, babe. I love it. I've been sticking with you for 20 plus years now, right?
We have been fighting in the streets for our rights, for the Constitution, for our founding fathers, and now they're toppling statues of Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
What are they going to ban the Christopher Columbus parade next year?
It's just all out madness, and it breaks my heart. It's been really difficult. This is worse than the pandemic, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, we got locked down for 2 months, right? And then all of a sudden we were about to get let out of our cages. and then we got to lock and load, to protect the homestead from, looters who are going to the outlet mall to get everything for free.
And we're all in it together.
If they would have just waited for the stuff to go on sale, come on.
Oh, exactly.
Get the stuff on clearance.
People are just, when you're in lockdown mode for so long, they're just looking for an opportunity to let it out. They had enough.
It was like a match on a big gasoline can.
Yeah. And we're all just kind of viewing it from the sidelines holy.
Well, we took last week off. We had to. I think everybody needed a little bit of a break.
Yes.
We had some unfortunate news from one of our producers. And we wanted to make sure that we could lighten the workload. It's a lot of work putting all these things together, but taking a good mental break was important for us. And we thank you all for sticking through it with us.
Yes, and thank you to all the new subscribers who are watching and tuning in today for the first time.
Yeah.
Joining us crazy kids.
22,500 subscribers on the GCast channel.
That's
I should point out too that Next News Network just crossed over 1.6 million subscribers, which is super exciting. And on top of that, Twitter decided to fact check the president again.
Once again.
Where are we, man? This is the Twilight Zone, I swear.
Are people on Twitter, do they realize what they get to see and what they don't get to see? Do they realize the hypocrisy?
Jeremy, our booking producer, he's like the Lord of Twitter. He can craft these tweets that are so good. And he, a lot of the stuff that he comes up with, a lot of stuff that he comes up with for our show, he pulls it from Twitter. And I remember one day he's like, dude, Twitter's down. I don't know what to do. I'm like, Google, man.
That's your universe.
Yeah, you go from one manipulated reality to the next manipulated reality.
Oh my God!
But Twitter is really out of control. The president, a couple weeks ago, signed an executive order to scare the crap out of these social media giants.
I love the video though that he shared.
Yeah, we're gonna play that. Yeah. Twitter flagging a Trump tweet featuring a fake CNN chyron as manipulated media. I think this is hilarious. They are fact-checking the memes now, Angie. Really? Are we going to start fact-checking jokes, too?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that next? You have little people walking around in public doing the same thing at some point?
Okay, Angie, here's a joke for you. A priest, a rabbi, and
let me Google
a Muslim cleric walked into a bar. Fact check. No, that didn't happen. It's a freaking joke. You know?
Are we the last of our kind to take a joke?
Can you imagine what's going to happen for our children? It's going to be a gray,
God.
unfunny universe for them to grow up in. And that is why I am wearing the red, white, and blue.
I'm happy for you. You're rocking it. Although I did tell you to lose the shirt.
I know. You want to see some chest hair.
I like the chest hair.
I should point out that Angie's wearing the colors of anarchy today. Is that anarchy or is that the what is it? We'll have to get
I'm
Jordan
hiding
Page.
a ginormous bruise on my arm.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to you.
I don't know what happened either. Otherwise, I would have been in black.
The kids probably beat you down.
In my sleep.
Yeah. Oh, they do that.
They do.
They rush into our bed and they're just like, I got kicked in the face,
We get
kicked
the
in the
beat
balls,
down.
kicked in the stomach.
It's world wrestling, man.
I wake up to like a flash of light in my face, and it's actually a skull crushing my eye socket.
See, but I'll take it as long as they don't wake up. I'm always like, don't move. Don't move. Don't
Well, I'm like always trying to push their feet away from my stomach. And they just, what is it? Why do they have to push? I think it has something to do in like mentally, like the womb.
No.
You know, and they want to feel like all the womb pressure again.
No,
so
you're getting it on purpose. Guaranteed. I see them smiling in their sleep.
Speaking of the children,
I'm just kidding.
we have a Jordan Page is going to be joining us in a little bit. If you don't know Jordan Page, world-class musician. We've known him for a long time. We're going to be premiering
Your
one of
life's
his.
going to be changed today if you haven't heard his music.
Yes, we're going to be premiering his new song. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't heard it yet. So I'm a virgin here. So I want to make sure that you get the real reaction. Now, Jeremy, why are you laughing at me? What'd I say?
He said virgin and you in the same sentence. It was funny.
Man,
I just hear the Madonna song.
like a virgin. Watching Jordan Page for the very first time.
Oh Lord, I'm sorry, Jordan.
I think I hear Jordan's microphone open. I'm not sure if that's going on program, but if we could get that resolved, because we have a built-in laugh track now. So speaking of children, we have the actual video of that Twitter said was fake. Can we bring that up? Okay, let's watch this. Okay, so as you're watching this now, this is normally a Harry Connick Jr. song that's playing in the background. We had to mute it. Mm-hmm. But isn't that beautiful? Look at those little babies, right? And the first opening said, what did that lower third say? Racist white baby chasing black baby.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And
that's the full video.
This is the full video, right?
Yeah.
Wait. There was a whole thing on the end there. You cut it out too soon. America is not the problem. Fake news is the problem. Mm-hmm.
Finally.
If you see something, say something. Only you can prevent fake news dumpster fires.
That's something you would say.
Mm-hmm. So, Twitter decided that was manipulated media, Angie.
Of course they did.
The Hill reports that Twitter has flagged a tweet from President Trump as containing manipulated media after the president tweeted a clip of a black toddler and a white toddler edited to include a CNN chyron reading, "Terrified toddler runs from racist baby."
That's,
The initial video, which was widely circulated online long before the tweet, shows the two children running towards each other and embracing. I remember when it came out. That was a really cute video. And that meme was made by Carpe Diem. I met him at CPAC. He's definitely a meme lord. They write it's been edited to include ominous background music in the fictitious CNN headline. The video reverts the original clip midway through, cutting into a title saying America's not the problem, fake news is. Manipulated media. I mean, is America that stupid that we need Twitter to hold our hand on tweets?
Well, that's what Twitter would like you to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think what the video portrays something that is far more important for people to start thinking. It's not the white guy is not the bad guy, the black guy is not the bad guy, the cop's not the bad guy. That's not the story. You know, that's not the story that we should be thinking 24/7.
People with hate in their heart are the problem.
Period.
But if you say that, then you're a racist because you're not acknowledging skin color. When we're supposed to be acknowledging people based on the color, but based on the character, the content of their character. That's what Martin Luther King said. I got into it with someone on Facebook like last weekend over this very thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I put down that Martin Luther King quote in a comment, and they're like, "Don't be throwing Martin Luther King at me." Like, what? Like, you're just a systemic white racist. Like, wait a minute.
Ooh, he's coming in hot.
Yeah. And you can't reason with people who are who've lost it.
Done. Yeah, I don't try to anymore. I really don't.
I think
it's not for me.
People are so dug into their positions right now that trying to move them is almost an impossibility. If you remember, Angie, when you and I would go hit the streets, we'd pass out DVDs and we would talk about the Federal Reserve and the IRS and we'd talk about the Real ID and the police state, and we talk about these things and try to wake people up to what's happening in the country and the loss of our rights and the eavesdropping and the Bush administration, all these things.
We were able to have a discussion
yes.
on the street with a stranger,
yes,
whomever it was.
Yes, you could have a conversation, except that one guy who spit on you and broke our camera, but that really, that's...
He missed, though. I didn't get it.
Man.
Or else he would have died.
Wasn't that right? Was that right in front of the Art Institute, wasn't it?
It was. It was a sad day.
Yeah.
That's hard to think about. I hate when you bring it up.
Yeah. Well, I remember screaming down that canyon of buildings on Michigan Avenue. Mm-hmm. Like, when I scream, when I want to let it out, boom, I yell.
Yeah.
And the cops came quick. They arrested the guy.
There's no need for any of that. That type of protesting is so intense, and it freaks me out.
Speaking of police and police reaction, police are walking off the job, Angie.
Rightfully so.
They're walking off the job. They're like, you know what the hell, these people? They want to defund the police? Fine. Defund it.
The way this is all transitioned has been so scary and so traumatizing. Mm-hmm. Like the cops, like there's good cops out there. There's plenty of good cops out there. And what they're doing is, I agree, rightfully so. What else do you want for them? How else would you expect them to react?
Well, this is happening in Atlanta, and I suspect it's going to spread further across the country.
It's their turn, perhaps.
AJC.com, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Atlanta Police Department on Thursday said it's able to respond to 911 calls for those in need. Notice how they open up this article with that sentence. Okay, so they're trying to like downplay.
Right.
Don't worry, everyone. 911 calls will still be answered. Meanwhile, they're getting a higher than usual number of Atlanta police officers who aren't going to work. Mm-hmm. So
there's a serious problem going on here.
And the mayor's like, oh, don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. Meanwhile, she's complicit in aiding and abetting the BLM protests that have turned into violent riots. Okay, it's one thing to support. Look, I support a good protest, right? You and I have done that. We've organized these things with Jordan Page on the steps of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., okay?
Yes. We
marched down the street, thousands and thousands strong, down Constitution Avenue, holding our signs, supporting Congressman Paul for president. You know?
I'm very proud of that. I was sharing those pictures with little Gary and Angelo just last week.
Like, these are things that we didn't start setting cars on fire.
No, there was never any violence. No.
So, look, I support a good protest, but not when it turns absolutely violent. They start attacking police. They start attacking individuals. They start attacking storefronts. This is organized madness, and it's designed to destabilize the country. It's a communist revolution. They want to destroy the very fabric of this nation. I've been saying all week, this isn't about Trump anymore. It's about America, and it's about destroying the very foundational iconography that make up this country. When they start tearing down George Washington statues, Thomas Jefferson statues, what's next, Ange?
What's next? You cannot erase history.
No. But they want to make everything in America bad. George Washington, bad. Thomas Jefferson, bad.
You're bad.
Red, white, and blue, bad. You know?
It's really sad. I like to think that I mean I get to have some good conversations, some good logical, intense conversations with friends that we don't always share the same political views on, and that's fine. But we get to have conversations. The disconnect, I think, is social media. It's people just blowing up in their heads more often than I want to see. And just, it's this fight that's back and forth, and then the media fuels it. It's like, who's the adult in the room here?
Facebook and Twitter are basically cancer.
They're terrible.
They're
It's
cancer
terrible.
on the earth. And Zuckerberg and Dorsey, the way they're manipulating news feeds. I mean, we could talk about YouTube all day long, too, because they're manipulating the actual search results for news and suppressing conservatives. I mean, those are realities that are being manipulated. And then you have the media, like CNN, MSNBC. They are throwing gasoline on the fire.
24/7.
And when they do that, they're fanning the flames of division in the country. They're fanning the flames of racism in the country when they could be building bridges. They could be bringing people together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. People, I think, from my perspective, people are checking out because this is built up aggression towards one another. And I feel like because I'm checking out and the people I'm speaking to, and when I say checking out of the bullshit that we're getting fed, and the media and the hype and the this idea that we're all supposed to hate one another and we're against one another, and better get your values in line, because when it's time to vote that racist out. It's this narrative that's like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And also the comment section on posts, they call it social media. It's really anti-social media because there's no accountability. So when you and I have a conversation face to face, or you have a conversation with your friend face to face, there's humanity right there. Okay, you're interacting with a human being physically. You're talking. You can see their face. You can see the inflection and hear the inflection in their voice. You can understand what they're saying, read their body language. But when you just drop some characters into a comment that have no context with the physical self, it's like
bizarre.
It's like sometimes when you and I have text messages back and forth, sometimes things like get out of context. And I'm like, no, I didn't mean to insult you, Angie. Please, it was just a text. Don't take it that way.
Like, what'd you say?
But that's the same thing that happens on Twitter, on Facebook, and that. And it's destroying the country.
It is. Keep it old school, people.
So
hang out, speak with people.
We only have a couple more minutes left in this, and we're trying to get through some of these stories. But speaking on what's happening in Atlanta, so cops calling off there, and it looks like in New York, cops are now encouraged to strike on July 4th.
I can't even imagine this happening, Gary, in New York.
Cops encouraged to strike on July 4th to give the city its independence. You want Independence Day? Well, here you go.
Here you
go, de Blasio.
It's gonna go down.
Oh my goodness, de Blasio, that guy is a piece of work.
He's terrible.
You saw I showed you that video what he did with the Jewish kids park?
Yeah. That was
welding it shut. And the day before, or was it the day after or something, they had 15,000 black trans lives matter in the streets.
And that was cool.
He's cool with that though, but little Jewish kids want to go play in the swings. No.
You can't do it.
No. Can't
do it.
How do you say no in German?
I don't know. Call up Katerina.
I don't want to try. I'll make a fool of myself. But you know what I'm saying?
I don't get him. And I love New York, and I hate to see this happen to them. I really do. But you know what?
What?
When you have a guy like that running the show, what are you going to expect?
On another note, before we go, guess what? It looks like they may be replacing a statue of a KKK leader with Dolly Parton.
I love Dolly, so this sounds great.
Yeah.
Where are you reading
the
that?
The statue might be a little top-heavy, though.
Oh, Tennessee. Okay, who's this KKK leader?
Did that just go over your head?
It totally
completely?
did.
Okay.
It totally did. Don't talk about my Dolly.
Dolly Parton is the pride and joy of Tennessee, and now a petition has been launched to remove a statue of a KKK founder, Nathan Bedford Forrest, from the Tennessee State Capitol building and replace it with the country superstar. Will that happen? I don't know.
It's being launched by a private citizen, Alex Parson.
Mm-hmm.
The petition reads, Tennessee is littered with statues memorializing Confederate officers. History should not be forgotten, but we need not glamorize those who do not deserve our praise. Instead, let us honor a true Tennessee hero, Dolly Parton. Yeah, I don't know much about this guy. After listening...
What? Who, Nathan Bedford Forrest?
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
Well, that's fine. Maybe
Yeah.
Jordan Page has some information about Nathan Bedford Forrest on the other side of the break.
Let's check it out.
No, let's go to the break. We're going to come back, and we're going to be bringing in Jordan Page and his new video. It'll be my first time watching. I'm excited to see it.
Can't wait.
And it will probably be yours as well. So we'll see you in just a minute.
The G-Cast will be right back after this short break from our sponsors. G-Cast After Hours is back.
And the mics are live. You're listening to the G-Cast. I'm Gary Franchi with...
I'm Auntie Franchi.
What's up, girl? What you drinking over there?
I got my Franklin's Finest.
You got anything special else in there? You got any Kahlua, tequila?
Shh, don't be talking like that.
Franklin's Finest, 100%
You know
Colombian.
me well. You know me well.
Colombian. Wake Up with
stuff.
GCast is the website. You can get this is currency during a crisis, during a pandemic, which I guess we're still technically in because Pritzker hasn't, got off the pot yet, as they say.
This coffee could literally save your life. It saved your life a couple times.
It did?
Yeah, you made it for me.
I did?
When I
I
needed
did make it a couple times. It's just like
Yeah.
a couple scoops and some hot water, and you're off to the races. But the best part is it's got super long shelf life, like 25 years. $97. It'll keep 780 servings,
something like that. I just know that it's good and it's non-GMOs, and that's what's important.
But don't you like the genetically modified stuff?
Sometimes
I love it.
when I want a little extra kick.
I love it. I love GMOs because I feel like I'm getting just that one extra chromosome I need for the day.
Just a little bit, yeah. It's the
Here it
right
is.
stuff.
Franklin's Find is 720
Look at that
servings.
bucket.
This is the bucket.
Bucket of love.
This is the coffee bucket. $97. It'll save your life. You could barter with it when they stop delivering coffee to the grocery stores.
They need my pictures. Like when we first got the bucket, I just stood and took pictures with it.
Oh, put your picture on the Angie drinking coffee. Yeah.
It's legit. I love it.
I think we burned that one out pretty good. So wake up with GCast, support this show. And now we have a guest, Angie. We're going to be bringing him in just 2 minutes.
Yes, we do.
Do you want to read this or do you want me to read it?
Jordan's bio?
Yeah.
Jordan Page. Oh, our beloved Jordan Page. Jordan Page is an American singer, songwriter, and political activist known for pushing the envelope and speaking truth to power. His songs were a staple of the Ron Paul movement.
Brian, close your mic again, please.
His songs were a staple of the Ron Paul movement, having a strong liberty message. He has performed for tens of thousands all over the world, and his anthem of hope is in an age of global manipulation through fear. Jordan is a Christian and a father of 7 free-range children.
7
Woo!
children. Dude.
And is working to build a better world for them. He truly is. Him and Mary. We are blessed and honored to be able to premiere it for you now. So without further ado, here is his song, Hour of Change, by Jordan Page.
Mm-hmm.
When I lay down in the gutter where the broken spirits fall, and I saw the faces of the world pass by above it all, the forgotten beg for mercy past the side of every wall they call. But pretending to be blind, you'll find you see nothing at all. In the hour of change, come and lay your burdens down. In the hour of change, you will hear the trumpet sound. When I rose up to the ether in its saturating mind, and I saw the faces of the world hiding from the light, and everybody wondering why they never reached the holy heights. When you walk in willful darkness, all there is night. In the hour of change, come and lay your burdens down. In the hour of change, what was lost once now is Now we've been sovereign witness to a lost and dying world, and never let it color me ashamed. Though the world descends to darkness, I will stand here unafraid, for the time of and never let it color me a shade.
Oh my goodness.
Jordan.
What?
Oh, Jordan.
What?
That was tremendous.
What
that
did
was
you
an
just do to me?
incredibly powerful video
Oh my
and
goodness.
song.
Wow.
That's the Jordan Page
Welcome,
we
Jordan
know.
Page.
Yes!
Welcome, Jordan Page, to the Gcast.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Oh,
That was a lot to watch right there. You know, I wish I had the lyrics out in front of me to read along with it. The visuals, the words, so powerful, man. Well done.
Thank you, brother.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Wow. Okay, I'm just sort of like taking it all in right now. Sorry, just kind of like all that stuff hits me because we've been like all those headlines, Jordan. I've been reporting on that stuff for so long, and then seeing Ron Paul show up there, I'm like, yeah, Ron. You know?
I had to put the good doctor in there.
Oh my goodness.
I think we're gonna cry throughout this show.
So okay, I need to like recalibrate
Yes.
here for a second. Jordan Page, singer-songwriter. I've known Jordan for a very long time, and we have so much to cover. We want to hear about your inspiration for the song and the work that you're doing in the Pacific Northwest. But first, let's talk about how you and I met. It was back in the early Ron Paul days. So if you can, tell those who are watching and listening what you were doing at the time and how we met.
It was the hand of God, Gary. That's how I best describe it.
Well,
so
there's no question that he has measured our steps for many years.
I
So-
still remember the moment that you guys were communicating when we lived in our in Northbrook, and I can still see him at his laptop, and he had your CD, and he was playing it for me, and the way he was speaking about you was so just lovely. It wasn't just like this person's been reaching out to me. It's like, Ange, come closer to me. Listen to this. Look at this person. And then when we met you and Mary in DC, I think that was my first time. I just remember you and Mary's lovely little face right here in my face, and it was just a precious moment. It was beautiful.
Jordan, how
well,
talk about it.
Those were the early days.
sure. Those were the early days, and I blame Gary for a lot of stuff. I had really just woken up. I was really just kind of coming into an understanding of just how crazy things actually were in the world, and my bubble had been popped. I had written a song called Pendulum that spoke to a lot of topics and subjects, political and otherwise, that I had no knowledge about. It was really a gift from the Lord, and I had been given an opportunity to record it, and it was getting a lot of radio play on XM and other stations. And I started doing research for once in my life. I was 26 years old, and I just started doing research, and I found Restore the Republic. And I found an email for a guy named Gary Franchi, and I just sent him the song. I said, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. You know, is there any use for a song like this? And you know, is there anything that we can do together? And I had heard about this Revolution March that was coming up that Gary was organizing in D.C. This guy named Ron Paul, who I had really just heard of. Ron Paul had nothing to do with my wake up call. He had everything to do with fueling me for the next decade. But it was this song. And you know, my wife Mary stalked Gary for several weeks. And
I remember that. I remember that because I was getting all these emails, and even back then, I still do. I get people pitching me with a million things all the time, but I remember like, okay, who is this person? What do they want? What do they want? What do they want? And she was so persistent. I'm like, okay, what is this all about? Continue.
And you know, you booked me for the Revolution March, and that was my That was on the National Mall in front of the Capitol in July of 2008, and that was my very first Liberty event. That was my very first experience with the Liberty movement. It was the first time I met Dr. Paul. It was his last event for that campaign cycle, and it was my very first event. So it was like, for me in my life, it was a torch being passed. And so and then I started organizing and the Fed rallies and doing lots of things all over the country, writing more songs, recording and releasing music. And our relationship with myself and you beautiful people has continued to grow through the years. And I mean, I've seen you guys go from doing smaller things, and now you're this internationally known group. It's amazing to me, and I'm so proud of you guys. It's absolutely incredible, and nobody deserves it more. I love you all. But you guys gave me my start in this movement. I didn't even know there was a movement before I met you all. I thought I was alone. I was like, okay, Lord, you're telling me you want me to go and speak this message, but is anybody going to even hear it? Not knowing there were millions of people that were waking up that felt the same way, that believed in freedom for everyone, not just the elite ruling class or the enforcement class. It was freedom for everyone and what that actually meant. And it blew my mind. It changed my life forever. So my life most of my adult life now has been dedicated to this pursuit. And I've taken a few years off of touring, but I'm still writing the songs.
I'm getting chills as you're talking about this, thinking about I remember going to some of your events, watching the audience, listening to you, and people just crave it. They want to be free. They want to be left alone. And it's really something else to tap into that and to feel that energy and to just a beautiful time, and it continues. It continues to this day. And the movement has morphed and changed, and we've seen people go off into different directions and supporting different people here and there. But the underlying message has always been about freedom. It's always been about, standing up for what is right, reinforcing the constitutional foundation that was enshrined by our founders and given by God. But it's really sad to watch how many people, the movement on the other side today, working against that in this massive push for authoritarianism and handouts and that kind of thing. When you look across the spectrum today, I'm sure this probably is in one of our questions, but this is just where I'm feeling led to ask you, what do you see today, Jordan?
I see several generations of people now who have been manipulated, who are understandably angry. I'm angry too. The Bible says to be angry but sin not. And that's where they're failing. They are being led down the path of collectivism, where they're scapegoating one group of people as carrying the burden of guilt for all of society's ills. And we've seen this happen before in other countries that led to genocides and led to totalitarianism. They're becoming the very monster that they claim to hate. And it's all part of a perverse doctrine called Marxism. And they're getting taught this from grade school up, because the state does not want us united against them, the ruling class who are passing the laws and who are stealing money from us to pay the enforcement class to force us to do their bidding. Your enemy is never going to give you the education you need to overthrow them. And so what we've seen, I was a product of state-run education myself, and by the grace of God, I broke my programming. But we've got millions of young people who are being brought up in this system of control that's teaching them things that are just plumb not true. They're being taught false history, and they're taking their anger and channeling it, misdirecting it at the wrong people, and viewing the system as being something that is against them, which they are right. The system is against them, but it's not their fellow brothers and sisters of all colors and creeds. It's this machine that we have to reform, and it's just a lot of misdirected anger as well as social and manipulation through fear. We've been told these lies over and over again, and then everyone was on house arrest for months and months and full of fear, and people are turning on each other because they're being manipulated, because they're not educating themselves, and that's a perfect storm for what we're seeing now. I mean, you tear down a Confederate monument. What does that really accomplish? All that accomplishes is it's not taking down something that you believe glorifies something that you view as evil. It's erasing history from the public square, inconvenient history that you don't want to recognize, you don't want to know about it, and I don't think that we should lift certain people up and look at them as people to revere. But I also don't want to erase history, because then we're doomed to repeat it. And if the folks that are doing this get their way, the same things that they're angry about historically, it's historical events they're angry about, these are the same people that would perpetuate that kind of totalitarianism if they were in charge. These are the last people I would ever want in charge of anything, least of all me. They're all they're all a bunch of tyrants. I remember in that Mel Gibson movie where The Patriot, where he says, why should I trade one tyrant 3,000 miles away for 3,000 tyrants 1 mile away? Well, that's how I see Antifa and BLM. Of course, Black Lives Matter. Every life matters to God. Not all lives matter to all men, and that is a sin. That is a crime. I was raised to believe that we are all brothers and sisters and children under the same God. Amen. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It's absolutely absurd to judge people based on something like that. They should be based on the content of their character. But that lesson is being lost and is being pushed away because of anger. And a lot of that anger is truly righteous anger, because the police in this country are out of control. They're being taught.
We lost his audio. We'll try to get that back here in a second. Not sure.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Oh, sorry. What's the last thing you heard?
You were about to discuss how the anger towards the cops in this country.
Well, we've got to jump to a break right now, so we'll use this moment to jump to the break.
Sounds good.
And we'll continue the conversation with Jordan Page. I want to find out more about what inspired you to write this new song, and some other things about your upbringing, your discovery of music, and all the things that make up Jordan Page, make him the man that he is. So we'll be right back on the other side of the break.
We've gotta pay a few bills over here, so sit tight, and the G-Cast will return in a few moments. time to return to the G-Cast with your host, Gary Franchi.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Angie Franchi.
And who am I?
Gary Franchi. What's up, baby?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. You got a message regarding our sponsor.
Yeah, before we get back with Jordan, 877-646-5347, that's the number on the screen. I want you to get out a pen. I want you to write that number down, and I want you to tuck it away into a safe place, because after you watch this show, I want you to give them a call. Those are my friends at Noble Gold Investments, and what they can specialize in is if you have a retirement fund or you have an IRA or one of those things where you put money away because you're going to want to use it later, they help you convert that money into solid gold. Gold you can actually take possession of. So, for example, with the market fluctuations like they are right now, it's kind of scary. People are losing their shirts in the markets, and people are like, it's just up and down. Okay, you got pandemics, you got riots, you got unemployment, you got businesses. No one really knows what's going to happen. So with the inconsistency of the markets, one consistent place you can keep and protect your money and even possess it yourself is in gold and silver. And my friends at Noble Gold Investments, Colin over there, great guys. I've been working with them for years. They've been a supporter and a sponsor of my shows for many years. So I want you to call them, 877-646-5347. That's Noble Gold Investments. You can also go to their website if you want to check out more. But there's no pressure. They'll send you a free investment guide if you want to have more information. No pressure sales. Good people. They've always got special offers, and they've got some really cool numismatics if you're into numismatics, or they even have some commemorative coins. I'm not sure if they're still selling those. Either way, give them a call, 877-646-5347.
Good people over there.
They
and
are.
They love us.
Yeah, they're like our new sponsor.
We
got a sponsor.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
We're so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're like
boy.
legit now.
We're legit. Oh, where's Jordan Page? Jordan Page.
Speaking of legit,
I'm still here. I'm too legit to quit, man. That's for sure.
That's
how
right.
is it? Too
legit
to quit. Is it quit?
I'm walking out. I gotta go.
Too legit.
Oh my God.
Too legit to quit. Hey. Okay.
You need a little practice on that. That hurt to watch you do that.
I'm gonna be Jordan Page's backup singer. I'm gonna be his backup singer and his backup dancer at his next concert.
Oh, damn.
I'm just gonna get up on stage and be like, "What's up?"
Everybody wants to see that.
Yeah. No, they don't.
I'm pretty sure I want to see that. Yeah.
You want to see me in my jean Speedo? How about that?
I didn't say all that.
Oh boy. Well, let's get back to this song that you have written. Oh my goodness. Hour of Change. What inspired this song?
So this song I wrote several years ago, but I wrote it because I was inspired by a sermon that our old pastor gave when we lived in Montana. And he was up on the stage, and I felt like I was just being sort of transfixed on him and what he was saying. I felt like I was the only person in the church, and there were like 300 people in there. And it was this message just of hope, but of also being willing to stand and be counted, being willing to stand and speak the truth, and to bear bear witness to a lost and dying world, is what he said. And that's where the lyric, I will bear a sovereign witness to a lost and dying world. It came right from that sermon. But originally the song was like 6 minutes long. It was one of my long Bob Dylan-esque kind of songs. And my wife Mary always liked it, but she felt like there was something wrong there. And so I had this opportunity to get into the studio back in February and do some recording. And she's like, she said, I'm getting a message from the Lord. You need to record Hour of Change, but you need to go and re-look at it and rewrite it and make it a little more commercially appealing, because it's 6 minutes long, And so I was kicking and screaming, I don't want to do that. The song's perfect like it is, blah, blah, blah. Humbled myself. I got the same message, and I sat down, and in 20 minutes, it became what you just heard. And so I work with an amazing producer out of Nashville.
Wait, can I ask you a question, Jordan?
Sure.
Will the world ever hear the 6 minute version?
Maybe someday.
It's on the other side of the album.
Yeah.
It's on the B.
It's a very different song.
Really?
I cut a lot of stuff out of the song that just was sort of dead weight, or it just wasn't as strong. And
Okay.
I reworked it. I just kind
Wow.
of closed my eyes and listened to what I heard in my mind. And God really helped me to craft this song, and it's for everyone.
It is.
I'm offering it. I'm offering it for free to anyone who would just like to have a copy of it. They can email me through my website, jordanpage.net, and my email address is jordanpagemusic@gmail. People can just email me, and I'll send them a free copy of it. I'm not interested in making money on the song, but my distributors put it out through iTunes and Google Play and all these different outlets that where they if you want to download it, that does help me. But I'm happy to give the song away for free. It was a gift to me, and I want it to be a gift for the world, because I'm trying to contribute something. I've been asking God a lot lately, like, what is it you want me to do to help make this better? As you mentioned, I have 7 little kids, and we're trying to raise these kids, to be good people. But we're living in extraordinary times. What, like you were talking about earlier with your kids, what are they going to face? I have the same fear, the same worry, and I want to make things better. And this is the gift that I have is songs. And so my hope is that people will hear this song and reconsider their position of rage and anger, and think about what are the actual solutions here. And for me, the revolution has always been about the individual. You have to change yourself before you can change anything else. And I have sort of laid my burdens down, like the song says, in the hour of change, come and lay your burdens down. What was lost once now is found. And for me, that's a reference to my faith, and to giving God control of my life, and of
Amen.
our culture. That's something that we've allowed God to be kicked out of our culture, out of our schools, out of the public square, out of our conversations. We're not even supposed to talk about God with people. Those, like God and politics, are the only two things that are worth talking about, and those are the two things that we're not allowed to talk about. So I say, hell with that. That's all I'm going to talk about. That's all I'm going to write about. That's all I'm going to sing about.
Yes.
Jordan, you said you have 7 children, and I think we've met most of them. I think you had a couple new additions maybe since we saw you last. But Mike, I have a question for you. What kind of car do you guys drive? What kind of No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. You and I have had that conversation.
Oh no! Oh no!
Your poor wife, what you put her through. No, but
she won't leave me alone. What are you talking about?
Oh!
So, no, what kind of car do you guys drive? I mean, how do you 7, 8, 9? You got 9 people. What do you have, like a conversion van? You have a bus? What do you drive around with the family?
Yeah, we got the 15-passenger van.
Oh my
right?
goodness.
I bought this
Sweet.
thing for. It had 39,000 miles on it. It was actually a prisoner transport van that had been repurposed. It was a 15 passenger, boy. We get it done in that thing. It's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Love it. Yes.
So did they keep the bars in there? So you could lock the kids inside if you need to?
Oh, I wish it did, but no, unfortunately, no. As I said, they're free range, man.
Your kids
they're
absolutely.
amazing.
They are. We've had the pleasure of meeting most of them, and they're every bit of you and Mary. Just love, kind, and giving. You're wonderful people, wonderful family.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. You guys too. And that's the secret to raising complete, non-broken people.
Yes.
Is giving them that love, and like giving them boundaries, giving them structure, but giving them freedom to discover who they are and what they think about things. Exposing them to different points of view, and encouraging them. And I mean, when they do good, we praise them. When they do wrong, we teach them and challenge them to do better. But nobody's getting participation trophies. Like if you're out there doing your best, then that is worthy of praise. But I see generations of people coming up who think that they're entitled to what everyone else works for.
No.
They're entitled to destroy what other people have worked for, and I'm not for that, not at all. Everyone is judged based on their actions. And not everyone is given a level playing field in life, and I totally acknowledge that, but we are being tested here on planet Earth. We're being judged on what we do with what we've got. We don't deal the deck down here. We play the percentages, and everyone has to stand on their own 2 feet and figure out like who do they really want to be. Are you really a person that just hits people for no reason? Are you a person that burns down businesses? Are you like is this what you're when you die and you take this before God? You have to account for those things. I want to be a person who builds and encourages and lifts people up, and that's what the whole purpose of the song is. And that's what the purpose of all my music is to lift people up and give them inspiration to live better lives.
Well, I'm a big advocate of just burning everything for freedom. It's ridiculous what we're seeing, and we got to jump to a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about what your thoughts are, Jordan, on this new autonomous zone, this new country we're welcoming into the League of Nations. It's called Chaz. Or Chop or Chump or whatever they want to call it at the moment. Get your take on that as a libertarian and other things. So we'll be tongue-tied. We will be right back with the Gcast.
Don't go anywhere. Gary Franchi will be right back after a word from our sponsors. And now, back to the Gcast.
Oh yeah, it's Friday. You ain't got no job.
You may have no job at this point.
Get a little twin. Debo coming. Hide the chains. Debo's coming. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Speaking of twin. Jordan Page, if you guys didn't know it, he's a farmer too out in the Pacific Northwest, and he's he's on the forefront of the cannabis revolution in this country. Really cool stuff. I want to talk to him.
It's been exciting watching your progression, and you're teaching us. It's been very cool.
Yeah, and now marijuana is legal here in Illinois. the state of.
All right.
So if you want to partake in the devil's herb, you're certainly free to do so. Your soul.
The devil's herb. What?
Well, isn't that what they call it? Like the wacky tobacco.
Gary's, you're a little bit
Wacky tobacco.
Gary, you're booming out a little bit here.
Booming out. Oh, really? No.
Have you been watching Hairspray? That's like, I feel like that's what they would have said in that movie Hairspray. Remember Hairspray?
I didn't really like that movie.
Oh,
that movie just creeped me out.
I love that movie.
Like with that weird big woman with the eyes and pale skin, she just creeped me out.
It scared you a bit.
You know, and Johnny Depp was just like, is he in that movie?
That was Crybaby.
Oh, I'm thinking of Crybaby.
You're thinking of Crybaby, man.
That was still creepy too.
Hatchet face.
Hatchet face, yeah.
Hatchet face.
Seriously though, that's like seriously.
Oh God.
Please, Mr. Jailer.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I. Where are we? I'm so lost right now.
I know. Let's just keep going.
Trying to get back on track. Okay, so we're he's the Jordan Page is
marijuana.
He's taking advantage.
When you think Jordan Page, think marijuana. That's totally the message I'm putting out there.
Well, that's why I don't smoke marijuana, because every time I smoke marijuana, I just see Jordan's face, and then I go into a chicken coop and I cry for the rest of the evening.
And call for your mama.
That's only because they sell me the wrong stuff. They dip it in that wiki stick.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, now I'm okay. Whatever.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Okay, so where's that piece? Okay. So we want to talk to you about the Chaz Zone. Okay.
Okay. All right.
The first half of your song sounds like an anthem for the people of the newly formed nation of Chaz, and you are from the neighboring country of Seattle. Would you like to explain your views as a libertarian, if you describe yourself as a libertarian, and how they differ from Seattle's new neighboring country, Chump?
Oh my goodness. All right. These are my thoughts on this. As I mentioned earlier, I understand the anger, and I don't disagree with the anger, but I believe that it's being misdirected, and what they're trying to accomplish is going to end very, very badly, because what they're doing is that they've essentially established an autonomous zone that they are claiming is no longer the United States, and that would, by all rights in my mind, remove their protections under the Constitution. That they are now a foreign nation, which would mean they are a foreign occupying force that has taken land from the United States. So Trump would be legally justified in using the military to take it back. I don't want to see that happen. I want to see like peace, love, and understanding happen here. But what we're seeing is the very thing that these people purport to be against, which is police overreach and totalitarianism, seems to be happening there. And there's a lot of seriously irresponsible things going on. Giving semi-automatic weapons to teenagers who have no training to use them, things of that sort.
That's one thing, giving guns to kids. But look at that garden, though, man. Have you seen that garden? That was a disaster.
As a farmer, I did facepalm a little bit when I saw that. But you got to understand, it's like think about your kids. This is how I look at it. Like, think about these people as your kids who have been led astray. How do you lead them back to the position of liberty? Because that's where everyone really needs to end up. Is how do we create liberty? But if liberty is not your goal, then we don't really have much to discuss. You know, if you want to be free of police oppression, if you really do want, equality under the law, there really aren't any more laws that oppress one ethnic group or another. I think as a society we've done a really good job of weeding that out. White supremacy is not an issue anymore. There's a few lunatics who believe that nonsense, that one group is genetically superior to the group. It's not true. But there's so few of these nutballs anymore that it isn't an issue. They're saying the entire system that we live under is that, and This is a system where anyone can start with nothing, no matter what you look like or what you believe. Anyone can start with nothing and end up with everything. So they're trying to destroy that, and that's all part of the Marxist philosophy. It's about creating a victim status, a victim class, and rallying society around that. And that's a huge part of what Lenin did. In his rise to power, they did the same thing. These are old tactics that are just being improved upon. Just like the totalitarian tactics of all the presidents in the last 25 years. They've all done the same things that other societies have done to usurp the power from the people, and they want us divided. They want whites and blacks divided. They want Asians and Latinos divided. They want us all divided because they know that if we are stronger together, and if we figure out that the people at the top are the problem, that they're passing laws. People like Joe Biden. Yeah. You donate to Black Lives Matter. Guess what? I believe Black Lives Matter. Of course they do. How could I purport to be a Christian and not believe that Black Lives Matter, as do all lives? Of course they do. But the people like Joe Biden, he was instrumental in passing these draconian laws that targeted Black people and created this prison industrial complex that we have now that unfairly target minorities. But he is their golden calf, and that's where the donations are going, to his campaign. So they don't know who the real enemies are, and that's our job, is to show them that it's not you and me. There is a system, and it is against you, but the people, just like a church, for example, a church is not the building. It's not the priest or the preacher or the hierarchy. It's the people. It's the corporate body of believers that make up a church. The same is true of a country. It's not our government. The government is not the country. The government has usurped the country. That's what they've really done. They've disconnected us from ourselves. People don't know. Like Jesus was asking God to forgive the very people that were nailing him to a tree because they know not what they do. Well, the people are doing this stuff now to each other. They know not what they do because they know not who they are.
Wow.
Yes.
And this is where we've failed to create a free society. Like, these riots are the price that we pay for failing to educate society and failing to create a free society. Taxes are the price that we pay for failing to create a civilized society. We're all paying for our own enslavement, and everyone's buying these lies that we should be fighting each other. We are stronger together. We're all children of the Creator. And I challenge anyone to disagree with me on that.
Amen.
Unless you don't believe in the Creator.
Wow. What? That was quite a download right there.
You said it all. You really have. I mean, that's how I feel right now. I feel like we're all walking around, in my opinion, like, wait a minute, I don't hate you. I don't hate you, but why are they telling us to hate one another? Mm-hmm. What the hell is going on? Yeah. Why are you angry at me? I didn't do anything to you.
They need us divided so that they can conquer us.
It is painful and it is heartbreaking. You did a live prayer on Facebook during, I don't know, maybe we're a month or two into the quarantine. And if people weren't broken from the quarantine, this certainly is breaking people. And I also just want to thank you for doing that live prayer during that time, because I remember being in my hallway and the kids were playing around me, and I sat and I prayed with you guys, and I had just let go at that point. I'm like, it was so much to endure, and I was crying and I was praying at the same time. And Jordan, your music and your words unify and unite, and they are absolutely, God has his hands on you, and he's leading, and you are bringing peace, and your message is universal, and I can't imagine anyone disagreeing with that. Your truth is very important to share, And it's at this time where we are in this country, we need to be together, and we need people like Jordan and his music to just be pumped through to drown out the other evil voices right now.
Well, we have a song. We're going to close out the show. It's actually when I was looking at my show notes here, and I saw the song that Jeremy had chosen, I remembered this song because it was the song that I chose as a track for when I went to a Federal Reserve meeting in Chicago.
I remember that.
At the Chicago Federal Reserve.
Oh, wow.
And I asked Ben Bernanke some questions. I forgot what I asked him. But I think the website we created, which basically pointed to the video, was meetthefed.com. And I remember doing this really long tracking shot. Like, I started out in the street on Michigan Avenue, and I had the camera go all the way down the street, in through the double doors, into the elevator, up the elevator, out the elevator door, into the room where they were all meeting for the Federal Reserve. But this is after the meeting had concluded, and the Federal Reserve logos were still sitting on these. It was in a hotel, I think, is where it was. But that music was right there in the background of the song we're going to play. And the lyrics of the song are so powerful because it talks about, what's happening in these rooms with these powerful men. And it's called Listen. Jordan, when did you record that song? Do you remember?
I recorded that in 2008. I wrote it. I wrote quite a bit of it on my honeymoon with Mary.
Really?
I woke up and I wrote a lot of that on my honeymoon. But we recorded it in 2008, and we made this video. It's pretty old at this point, but it still seems to be ringing true. Unfortunately, my goals have always been to make my music irrelevant, and I keep seeming to fail at that. So. Sorry about that.
Brian, we have a typo on that lower third. If you could, it's just Listen by Jordan Page. You can draw. I see you copy and pasted some stuff there. So take off the word premiere and properly spell his last name, because we are going to play this song. We're also going to put the links to all of Jordan's social properties in the description. You can find Jordan on Facebook. You can find him on. Are you on Twitter? I don't see a Twitter link here for you.
I'm on Twitter. Just Twitter. Jordan Page Music is my handle on Twitter, yes. And my website's jordanpage.net.
Okay, so jordanpage.net. You can follow him on Twitter. You can follow him on Facebook. He's got a YouTube channel as well. So he's got a lot of different things. How many albums do you have?
I've put out 3 albums, but I put out a lot of singles too. And but it's all on iTunes. It's all on Amazon. Pretty much all digital distribution outlets all over the world. It's all my music is listed there, so you can find me pretty easily.
Well, we're just giving you a small sampling of Jordan's music today. You had his premiere of his new song, Hour of Change, and now we're going to throw it back to a song from 2008 that is really, I think, very, very poignant to the times we're living in now. I mean, a lot of Jordan's music is talking about, speaking truth to power, mm-hmm. and waking up your mind, waking up your spirit to fight back against these principalities and powers that are trying to oppress us and trying to take our liberty. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. It doesn't matter if it's Obama. It doesn't matter if it's Bush. It doesn't matter if it's Clinton. We're talking about people who are just straight evil, who want to have control over us. And Jordan's music is helping break those chains.
Your music is encouraging and positive as well. I want to add to that. I mean, we've been doing this for a very long time. And again, this is just another part of our journey, and your music has really lifted us up. I love listening to the music with the kids. You're able to articulate things that I'm not able to, and for them to feel that with me is precious. So thank you for your music, Jordan.
Jordan's music.
Well, thank you guys for all that you do too.
Jordan's music is the soundtrack of the revolution, if you ask me.
Amen.
Jordan, thank you for joining us, and we really appreciate you taking the time. And we're gonna play out the show with your song. Listen, but do you have any final thoughts before we go, Jordan?
Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate all that you're doing to spread the message of hope out there and to speak sanity into our culture. And I hope we get to see each other soon. And I ask that just people that are watching this just to share the video, share the song, and let's make America grateful again. Let's make America good again.
Yeah.
If America can't be great if it's not good, and we're in short supply of love right now, and love is always the answer, and that the true love really comes from the Lord. And so I encourage you all to look inside yourselves and ask yourselves, is this really the world you want to create? It's not the world I want to create for my kids or for Gary and Angie's kids. We want them to live in a world where they can be free to be who they are, and that's what we want for everyone.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on episode 20 of the G-Cast. I'm Gary Franchi.
And I'm Angie Franchi.
Everybody, we're going to go to this music video. But until next week, stay gold.
Listen to the sound that you hear like an echo in your head. There's a strange vibration rising now from the heart of America, America. Listen to the sound of a drum calling players to the game of the new world order. Don't be caught unaware when the heads start rolling. Happen here, I know it wouldn't happen here. I will not submit to authority of man. I'm alive, I'm awake. This is more than I can take. If you had an open door, would you kill a little more? Listen to the cries of the dead in the wake of the Sudan. Is there no one out there? I see blood in the sands of despair in Africa. Listen to the sound of applause in a chamber full of men selling out their people as they plan their assault on the heart of America. No, it couldn't happen here. I know it wouldn't happen here. I will not submit to authority of man. I'm alive, I'm awake. This is more than I can take. If you had an open door, would you kill a little more?
In the councils of government, we must guard against acquisition of unwarranted influence by the military-industrial complex.
War machine in motion, and the bullets fall as rain, and the light in the eyes of the innocent has faded into pain. Yesterday I knew the world was spinning toward the end, but today I see the wasteland, and it's too late to pretend. Listen to the words that you hear, said the ghost of Vietnam through a veil of napalm. Don't forget your mistakes and where you came from. I will not submit
That's all we've got for you right now. Gary's gotta run. We thank you for tuning into our podcast. If you're hungry for more, head on over to Gary's Next News Network YouTube channel for the latest news and commentary on current events. Until next time, stay gold.